Welcome back to Curtis and Jacqueline Dale Softball Stadium here on the campus of NC State University as we get ready for the second of a doubleheader today between the NC State Wolfpack and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. I'm Chris Lehman alongside Drew Blevins, and we're getting right into the action. The starting pitcher today for the second game for NC State, Courtney Mirabella, the sophomore, a 3-2 win-loss record to start the season with a 1.7 ERA. Her first pitch coming in, strike one. Wester started as the outfielder in left field for the Fighting Irish in the first game. She was also the leadoff in the first game, and she was able to get on base two times. She had a double in the third inning and a walk in the first inning. On the walk in the first inning, she was one of the 2 runs that Notre Dame was able to score. Now she will face a new pitcher
is such a promising young pitcher. A sophomore this year, was phenomenal as a freshman. So many good things to say about her.
And that ball is grounded foul, and it'll be an 0-2 count to Wester. Good start for Mirabella, who's having a great sophomore season. She came in last year and was able to relieve NC State star pitcher Emily Wyman every once in a while to give her some rest, and she's done a great job doing the same this year.
Well, you have to be careful when you're looking at Wester, though. Those little slap hits, she is a slap hitter. That could allow her to get some speed down the base paths.
Ground ball picked up by shortstop Renata Davis, and Wester able to beat out the throw so fast that Davis not able to make the throw. So a lead-off single to start this second game for Wester. Certainly a great start to the game for the Fighting Irish.
Well, Chris, I mean, there it is. You just poked that one out right into the left side of the infield. Straight down the base path she goes. Outstanding job by Wester.
Now up at the plate for the Fighting Irish, the second baseman Jenna Simon, as she takes strike one.
This is a very potent top third of this lineup for Notre Dame. Simon really likes to build off what Wester does, and there was only one time in the first game of this doubleheader where Simon was up at bat and Wester was not in front of her.
Steal attempt there from Wester, and the tag looked like it was in time from second baseman Alyssa Compton, but beating out the throw for another stolen base, Carly Wester. So she's now in scoring position. The count to Simon 1-1.
And not only that, she's now 8 for 8 stealing bases on the year. She is lightning personified.
Slap hit coming there from Wester, from Simon, caught by Davis to retire the first batter of this afternoon matchup between the Fighting Irish and the Wolfpack. So 1 out and a runner on second. Stepping into the batter's box now, Emily Kerner. Not much doing for her today. She struggled in the first outing. She lined out to short, struck out, and ground out to first to end the game. So 0 for 3 in her first game, and she takes ball 1 from Mirabella.
Yep, and this is what you're going to see from Kerner. When you're not hitting that well, what you do have to work on some of the intangibles of batting, being patient, being able to pick the pitches. And right here, I'm expecting her to try to work Mirabella a little bit.
She'll take the second pitch right down the middle from Mirabella, strike 1. Mirabella starting to find her groove. And this is going to be an interesting game as we take a first game that was very entertaining. Came down to the wire. Another pitch in from Mirabella, strike 2. The count now 1-2. As NC State got back-to-back home runs, the first time this year that Rachel Naslund, who pitched for the Fighting Irish in the first game, has given up back-to-back home runs. And that was the difference. This came from Molly Hutchison, her second of the game, and the first of the game for Tyler Ross. That pitch coming in, the crowd looking for the strike. They're not going to get it from the home plate umpire, and the count now even 2-2 to Kerner. This will be a big pitch coming from Mirabella, trying to get that second out and give the Wolfpack an easy chance at getting through this first inning unscathed.
The Irish would love to have a hit. That put Haas in a really good situation, the cleanup spot. And if you recall, at the beginning of that first game, we got really a wacky start. 2 errors in the first inning, 3 in the first 2, and that allowed Notre Dame to go ahead and get 2 up on the board. Had it not been for Hutchison's opening home run back in the first inning, it might would have been a different story.
Oh, you're absolutely right, Drew. NC State, though, as you said, comes back with the Hutchison home run. And another foul tip there from Kerner. And she's staying alive. And this is something that the entire Notre Dame lineup was able to do well in the first game, and that's get the bat on the ball. Whether or not they're getting it in play is somewhat irrelevant. They're keeping the at-bats alive, though, and forcing these NC State pitchers to throw a lot of pitches. Pitch from Mirabella, turned on, and it's fair from Kerner. Rounding third, coming home is Wester. She'll come in standing, and an RBI single there from Kerner gives the Notre Dame Fighting Irish an early lead.
Not only that, but it's so key for Kerner to finally be able to see herself get a hit. That's not going to be scored an error simply because it was just hit that hard. A rip right down the first base line. Notre Dame manufactures their first run, and it will be earned.
And that's the way that the Notre Dame has been able to find their offense today. A lot of small ball. NC State, all of their runs coming off of home runs in the first game. As Mirabella pitches that one in, high pop fly to right field. Tharrington there for NC State to make the catch, and 1 pitch, 1 out for Katie Haas, and 2 are away for the Fighting Irish. Is coming to the plate, Michaela Arizmendi.
Yes, and Morgan Tharrington, who makes the catch, is the lone change in the lineup, save the pitcher for NC State. Other than that, the Wolfpack are returning 8 of their 9 to the field.
Mirabella will toe the rubber and get the sign. And the pitch, check swing from Arizmendi, and it's ball 1, 1-0 count on first right now. Emily Kerner after her RBI single to bring in Wester. So NC State trying to get out of a little bit of a jam here, already giving up a run. Mirabella's pitch catches the outside corner. Strike 1, a 1-1 count now to Arizmendi.
And you're looking over there, Kerner is sort of jumping, generous secondary lead, really good jump as soon as the ball pops the mitt there, but she's really not a running threat. Only 1 for 2 stealing this season.
Here comes the pitch, check swing. Arizmendi did not go, and the pitch is outside, a 2-1 count now. This is a tough spot for Mirabella right now. She's struggling to get ahead in the count. She's behind 2-1 right now to Arizmendi. Going now, sliding in, safe, head first, Kerner. And that's the second stolen base of the inning. And the last time it was stolen by Wester, and she was then brought in by Kerner on a single. So a chance here with a runner in scoring position to get a second run for Notre Dame.
And this is something the Irish can use to their advantage. Mirabella is only a sophomore, still a very young pitcher, and they're going to try to work her as much as they can throughout the portion of this game.
And that's strike 3 from Mirabella, so she ends the inning with a strikeout. And that will do it for the inning as NC State relents 1 run on 2 hits, and Notre Dame leaves 1 stranded. And we'll be right back as NC State comes up to bat for the first time. You're watching NC State Softball on GoPack.com and Wolfpack Sports Television. Welcome back to Dale Softball Stadium here on the campus of NC State University in Raleigh, North Carolina, as we get ready for the bottom of the first inning as NC State comes to bat. We'll see Renata Davis, the shortstop, the third baseman, Lana Van Dyken, and the catcher, Molly Hutchison, who hit 2 home runs in the first game. All 3 of them will come to the plate here to face off against left-hander Allie Rhodes. A 5-2 win-loss record for her and a 2.95 ERA. Through 38 innings pitched this season. Davis steps into the batter's box, takes the first pitch. Strike 1 to Davis from Rhodes. And Davis, not a bad game in the first game, not her best. She got 1 hit as she went 1 for 3. But NC State able to come away with the win. Check swing there from Davis. Low pitch. Checks to second, does the home plate umpire, to first. And Davis did not go, so the count 1-1.
And this is something new from Renata Davis. She's normally very, very quick to go ahead and swing the ball bat. However, this time, being patient, feeling out the left-hander.
She takes the third pitch, that one high, 2-1 the count. So both pitchers to start this second game struggling a little bit to find the strike zone and to get ahead in the count. That favors a lot of offense in this game, as we already saw the visiting Fighting Irish put up a run in the first inning. Stepping out was Van Dyken, and it doesn't look like time was granted, so it'll be 3-1. Excuse me, that was Davis. Davis stepped out, and it was called a ball. So a 3-1 count. Questionable call there. Davis stepped out. She wasn't granted time, but she got lucky. She gets the third ball. Hitters count, swing and a miss. Possibly a foul tip there from Davis.
That may be a little bit of karma coming back. I'd say because Davis stepped fully out of the batter's box, regardless of if she called time or not. I would have imagined somebody would have called a holdup there.
So now she steps in. Rhodes delivers the payoff. Swung and popped up high. It's going to stay in the infield for Simon. Jenna Simon will make the catch for the first out of the inning, and now coming to the plate will be Lana Van Dyken for the Wolfpack.
And Van Dyken is also a junior, batting .302, consistent starter, started every game for the Wolfpack. I think what's most impressive, though, 13 hits, and she spread it around. She's got a couple of doubles and a couple of triples to go with it.
She'll take a cut at the first pitch. Foul tip straight back into the netting behind home plate. 0-1 count to her. So Rhodes will get a new ball and step back into the circle. She gets ready to face her second batter of the day. Back in the box, Van Dyken, the pitch from Rhodes. It looked like a changeup. It was low. Ball one. Now the real danger for Rhodes comes up next, Drew, standing in the on-deck circle for the Wolfpack. Molly Hutchison, who went 2 for 3 with 3 RBI and 2 home runs in the first game. As that pitch comes in, ball 2, 2-1 count.
Hutchison really is going to be a problem for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish if they don't find a way to solve her. The good news is that Rhodes may be able to handcuff her because instead of being a righty versus lefty matchup, you've got a left-handed pitcher versus a left-handed hitter.
Well, that pitch comes in, strike 2, evening the count at 2-2 on Lana Van Dyken. 1 away so far for the Wolfpack in this first inning. Down by 1. Rhodes delivers, that one in the dirt. Full count now to Van Dyken.
This is going to be a real test of patience for Van Dyken. Yes, you have to swing at anything close naturally, but we'll see if she's able to lay off something. I wouldn't be surprised if Rhodes tried to get her swinging right here by throwing a ball low.
Here comes the pitch from Rhodes. Swung on and fouled down the left side off the netting by Van Dyken, staying alive.
And right there she went trying to spin that one away and outside. Wanted to get Van Dyken swinging. Good job by the Pack third baseman to stay alive, though.
Yeah, and that's something NC State didn't do quite as well. A lot of quick at-bats in the first game. They still come away with the win. But do you like to work a pitcher as much as possible? That pitch inside, twisting away from it, Van Dyken. She'll take the walk. Her third walk of the day. She had 2 in the first outing. And she'll take another one here, and she'll be the first base runner in this game for NC State, as now stepping in Molly Hutchison, and this is deja vu if you're Notre Dame. To start the game, Van Dyken walked, and then coming up, Hutchison homered to left field. So a good chance here for Hutchison to pick up her 4th and 5th RBI and her 3rd home run of the game, or excuse me, of the day, if she can find another home run.
Well, she'd love to do that. And honestly, Hutchison may have the advantage here.
She takes the first pitch, ball 1. Here comes the second, that one in the dirt. So a 2-0 count now to Hutchison, and she's quickly getting into a hitter's count, forcing Rhodes to find the strike zone and give her something to hit. Here comes the pitch from Rhodes. That one up high, 3-0 count now. This one has to find the strike zone, or NC State will have 2 aboard and 1 in scoring position for Tyler Ross with just 1 out.
And she's going to be the cleanup hitter again, and she was the second half of those back-to-back homers. in last game's 6th inning.
That's 4 straight balls, and now 2 runners on for NC State as 2 straight walks from Allie Rhodes. So Van Dyken stands on second, Hutchison on first, and now at the plate, Tyler Ross, who, as you mentioned, Drew, was that second of the back-to-back home runs and the third of the game for NC State in that last game.
And Ross is batting .298. She's only got 2 home runs, but 9 RBIs to go with him, 14 hits.
And she swings at the first one, chopped the first throw over, gets Van Dyken at third. Excellent throw there from Arizmendi. And you get to 2 outs. Same situation with runners on first and second for the Wolfpack. As coming to the plate, the first baseman, number 36, Maggie Hawkins.
Ross is going to reach on that fielder's choice, but it's a really good play by Notre Dame to go ahead and get that lead runner instead of trying to force a double play there where you'd have runners on the corners. That would have caused a lot of jeopardy.
So runners at first and second for Hawkins. She swings and misses at the first pitch, strike 1. In the first game, Hawkins goes 0 for 3. So she'll be looking to reach base for the first time today. That pitch high and inside, evening the count 1-1. Right now, Hutchison stands on second, Ross on first as she reached on the fielder's choice. 2 outs, though, for NC State, so a fly ball does not necessarily mean a run scores. Check swing. And they'll appeal to the first base umpire. He says that Hawkins did not go, so that's the second ball. A 2-1 count to Hawkins now.
And Chris, this is a big one for Hawkins, the Hofstra transfer. Runner in scoring position here. She'd really like to help her team try to tie this ball game back up.
And there she swings and fouls one off to even the count at 2. That one goes over the right side of the grandstand here behind home plate at the Curtis and Jacqueline Dale Stadium. 2-2 count, 2 outs in the first inning. NC State trying to knot the score as the Fighting Irish lead 1-0. That pitch high and inside. Count full now to Hawkins, and NC State doing a great job, Drew, being patient and forcing Rhodes to throw as many pitches as possible.
Yeah, but that one's on Rhodes right there. That curve sort of stuck to her finger a little bit, let it go all too late, just came off all wrong.
That one swung on him, floats into shallow right field. It's going to drop in front of Africano, coming home to score. Hutchison sliding in, tagging with the hand. An RBI single for Maggie Hawkins, and NC State answers, and we have a tie score.
It's good job by NC State. It's simple baseball. That's not the power hitting that you're used to seeing from NC State. They're able to manufacture that run. Really well done all around by NC State to pull together as a team, string together some hits, and get that run.
Yeah, so NC State will have a chance here as Tyler Ross was able to make it all the way to third. If NC State can get a hit here from their designated player, Meredith Burrows, they'll be able to take the lead. Strong wind has started up. It's very calm to start the day. Still no clouds in the sky, but the wind blowing in and across from right field to left field.
Yes, it is. And meanwhile, where we had winds coming in earlier that were blowing straight back right at home plate and perhaps keeping some long balls in, now you're looking at some being able to be pushed out over in that left field area.
So Burrows steps in on the first base side of home plate. She takes strike 1. An 0-1 count to her. Sally Rhodes looks to get out of a little bit of a jam here with runners on the corners and 2 outs. Ready now, Rhodes delivers high and outside. 1-1 count now.
And if you're Rhodes here, you really do have to be careful. You don't want to tire your arm out unnecessarily so early in this ball game.
Burrows will try to avoid her 4th strikeout of the game as she takes strike 2 of the day. She struck out in all 3 of her appearances in the first game as she faced off against Rachel Naslin. Different pitcher this time, so hopefully a different result for Burrows. 1-2 count, runners on the corners. That pitch just misses the outside corner. 2-2 count now, and again, NC State able to battle back when they've gotten behind in counts, and that seems, Drew, at least to be part of the reason for their success so far.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
So Rhodes checks her armband, gets the pitch, winds, and fires. Swing and a miss. Drop ball, tagged out Burrows. So strike him out, tag him out to end the inning. NC State able to answer as they got the RBI single from Tyler Ross. We'll head to the top of the second. Coming up to bat for the Fighting Irish, catcher Cassidy Wynn and right fielder Casey Africano and the designated player Kimmy Sullivan. We'll be right back. You're watching NC State Softball on GoPack.com and Wolfpack Sports Television. Welcome back to Curtis and Jacqueline Dale Softball Stadium as we get ready to start the second inning of the second game of this doubleheader between the NC State Wolfpack and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Stepping in to the batter's box for the Fighting Irish, catcher Cassidy Whidden. She's going to turn on the first pitch, fouled down the left field line and out of play, strike one. But a good cut there from Whidden.
Put that one right into the NC State bullpen. And the wind doesn't necessarily affect that one. She got on it a little bit early, but for those pull hitters, it can certainly be helpful.
Strong cut again from Whidden as she misses that one, and quickly an 0-2 hole for the Fighting Irish catcher. Mirabella looking to pick up her second strikeout in a row in second of the game, and she gets it there, swinging and missing. A 3-pitch strikeout for Mirabella on Whidden, and one away to start the second inning.
Whidden just didn't look comfortable at the plate from the beginning. Got a couple of good swings, sure, but Mirabella was working her, playing her like an upright base, quite honestly. 3-pitch strikeout. Beautiful pitching by Mirabella.
Casey Africano, the right fielder, steps in, and she takes strike one on the inside corner. Mirabella really finding her groove here, as that's her 4th strike thrown in a row. Pitch coming from Mirabella, that one high. Ball 1 to Africano. And the bottom of this Notre Dame lineup really struggling. They were able to rally a little bit in the 7th inning of last game to give their team a chance to win, but they were unable to do so. That one pops straight up in the air, going back for it. Hutchison at the fence. She makes the catch. 2 away now, as that's a foul ball caught by the catcher. And very quickly, 2 retired for Courtney Mirabella.
And Chris, do you think Deanna Gumpf is maybe getting a little bit gray because of the lack of production from her 6, 7, 8, and 9 spots? This is, quite honestly, almost embarrassing for Notre Dame, the number 23 team in the country. They just haven't been able to get anything going past that 5th hitter.
And they have been a little bit cold coming in. They did win 7 of their last 8 games, but a lot of it has been due to the stellar pitching of Allie Rhodes and Rachel Naslund. And right now, NC State is able to produce right alongside Notre Dame, and their pitching has been very strong as that pitch comes in for strike one on the designated player, Kimmy Sullivan. A 1-1 count to her with 2 away here in the top of the second.
And in this 3-game series, Chris, if State's able to snag 2 in a row here, and especially if they're able to get the win tomorrow, they may actually be the team to hop up and into the rankings, and Notre Dame could slip out of the top 25.
Yes, and NC State has been at least receiving votes for the top 25 for the last 4 weeks, and if they can come away with a win in the series here against the Fighting Irish, they could very easily find themselves in the top 25, as that pitch was high and inside, just narrowly missing Sullivan. And that will be ball 2.
No, I think that nicked her. I'm not sure what they're going to call it here.
Excuse me, I think it did hit her bat near her hands, so it'll be strike 2, a 2-2 count. Swing and a miss. Second strikeout of the inning for Mirabella, and that ends the top of the second. NC State able to get away without even allowing a base runner. Coming up to the plate for the Wolfpack in the bottom of the second will be Hannah Yeager, Morgan Tharrington, and Alyssa Compton. We'll be right back. You're watching NC State Softball on GoPack.com and Wolfpack Sports Television. It is a beautiful day here in Raleigh, North Carolina, as we get ready to start the bottom of the second inning. NC State coming to the plate against the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. The score knotted at 1 as Courtney Mirabella picked up 2 strikeouts as she retired the batters in order 1, 2, 3 in the second inning. Now coming to the plate for NC State, Hannah Yeager batting in the 7th hole, and she takes strike 1 from Allie Rhodes. In the first game, Yeager, not her best outing. She was able to pick up a walk and get on base for NC State that way, but that's the extent of her offensive production today. She'll look to improve upon that here. Second pitch in, strike 2 on the outside corner. Quickly an 0-2 hole for Hannah Yeager.
And this is where it can become a little bit frustrating. If you're watching 2 strikes in, it's one thing to watch 1, but you got to get the bat off your shoulder at some point.
And here comes the third pitch. That one, a good job by Yeager as it tailed away outside for ball 1, and she watches it. A 1-2 count. A little bit of a swirling wind so far to start this game. It started going from right to left across the field. Now it has changed as that one's cut on and fouled to the right side of home plate. Count still 1-2. Now the wind dying down a little bit, but I've seen it blowing both left to right across the field and a little bit back out towards the outfield as well. So changing conditions for these teams today.
But it is just a variable breeze, not too much effect on anything.
That pitch floated out just over the glove of Jenna Simon, and a leadoff single for Hannah Yeager, and NC State looking to start a rally here.
Great job by Yeager. Doesn't try to do too much with the ball. Keeps the hands in tight right off the inner part of the bat and floats it right over the second baseman. Simon just not quite tall enough on the jump.
So Yeager stands on first after that single, coming in for her first at-bat of the day. As you said earlier, Drew, the lone change in the lineup for NC State, besides the pitching change, Morgan Tharrington, the right fielder. She'll step in against Rhodes. First pitch bunted down, floated, diving to try and make the catch as that ball came off the top of the bat of Tharrington and floated there for a minute. Mendy tried to make the play there, unable to do so, so it's just a foul ball there for Tharrington. She gets away with one.
Mendy read that play like a book. She was practically at the top of that little split in the first baseline by the time the ball was to the plate, and she nearly made a spectacular play.
Stepping in with the 0-1 count now, Tharrington. Delivery from Rhodes. She pulls back the bunt as it's high, ball 1. As the corners of the infield for the Fighting Irish and Mendy and Haas pinching in on the shown bunt attempt from Tharrington.
And if they're going to pinch in that much, if she's determined to bunt, I might want to see her just lay one straight down.
Tharrington again with the bunt attempt, pops it up in the air, but back behind home plate, and neither the catcher Whidden nor the first baseman Mendy able to get to it. A 1-2 count, so it looks like Sean Rychek, the head coach of this NC State squad, will give Tharrington the go-ahead to swing away.
And that is unfortunate. If Tharrington was able to go ahead and lay one down right at the catcher's feet, she might have been a little more successful.
That pitch just misses the outside corner, ball 2, evening the count at 2-2. Again, Hannah Yeager still standing on first for NC State after the leadoff single. Morgan Tharrington will look to advance her here with a 2-2 count. Swing and a miss, way out ahead of it. A great change from Rhodes there, and she gets her second strikeout of the day and the first out of this second inning for the Fighting Irish.
It's a key strikeout. Now you've got Compton coming back. Compton was nothing special in the first game either. Freshman, lower half of the lineup, it's to be expected, but now you're really minimizing any type of danger that would come up after Compton.
And that is Alyssa Compton, as you said, Drew. She will man second base for the Wolfpack today. She takes ball 1 in her third appearance at the plate of the day. In the first game, she appeared twice and struck out both times. 1-0 count, 1 away in the bottom of the second for the Wolfpack. Here's the delivery from Rhodes, swung on, floats out into right field and foul for strike 1. A good cut there, though, from Compton, and it's good to see NC State, Drew, making contact, not necessarily putting the ball in play, but they are getting contact here early against Rhodes, and that's a good sign.
Well, that's good. Early contact means you've got a good read on the pitcher. It means that you're being able to see the pitch as well. Now you just got to sort of straighten everything up going up later.
Popped up into left field from Compton, easily handled in left center by the left fielder, Carly Wester. So 2 away now, and after a lead-off single, Hannah Yeager still stands on first base with Renata Davis returning to the plate. She popped out to second the first time around.
Davis is always dangerous. Just because she's in a slump over the past 3 at-bats really doesn't mean anything. I mean, we saw the sheer power she had in her flyout at her first at-bat of today.
Here comes the pitch. Check swing a little bit there from Davis. She lets it go by for ball 1. In the first game, Davis did go 1 for 3, which is not a bad outing. You'd like to see a little bit more offensive production. She did not score a run, nor did she bring in a run. But she's going to swing hard on that one. Flew out to right field. Under it, Africano. She makes the catch, and that will do it for the second inning. Neither team able to pull away. The score still knotted 1-1. Coming up for the Fighting Irish, the top of the order, Wester, Simon, and Kerner. We'll be right back. You're watching NC State Softball on Wolfpack Sports Television and GoPack.com. Quick correction to the 3 coming up to the plate for the Fighting Irish. The first one will be the final batter to round out this lineup for the Fighting Irish, the shortstop Sarah White. She takes a cut at the first pitch and misses. Mirabella gets strike 1. So it will be White, then Wester, and then Jenna Simon, the second baseman, for the Fighting Irish, who will come to the plate this inning. Swung on and hit hard into left field, sliding in and making the catch. Hannah Yeager, a great play to get over to that one and save possibly a double if she misses that for Sarah White. Well struck, but a great play in the outfield by Hannah Yeager.
Oh, it was a beautiful hit, well placed. It's a line drive, so it's not one that's going to hang over there. Yeager just beats the ball to the spot and is able to make a spectacular diving catch.
Now up to the plate, Carly Wester. She will bunt it down to shortstop. Renata Davis fires over, but the speed of Wester too fast. She's going to go to second and slides in, and no one was there on second. It would have been an easy out. A great job being aware while running the bases, Wester, as she gets an extra base out of that bunt. As Davis had to go over to field the play, and Compton did not go over to second to cover, and Wester gets to second.
The scorers are going to give her a single plus on that one, not a technical double, but that's awareness by Wester. She's able to lay it down, uses her speed to get to first, and sees, oh, nobody's covering second. I'll take that, thank you very much. And she does, and she's in scoring position. What a great piece of heads-up base running right there.
Oh, you're absolutely right. Now stepping in, Jenna Simon, the second baseman. She takes strike 1. Here comes the second pitch as she chops that foul into the NC State dugout. And an 0-2 count quickly to Simon. One runner in scoring position for Notre Dame with 1 out here in the top of the 3rd. Taken high there by Simon. 1-2 now the count. So Mirabella working on her 4th strikeout of the day. She picked up 1 against Arizmendi in the first and then 2 in the second. That one chopped and not handled well by Davis. And now runners on the corner with 1 out as a slow chop down the left field side of the infield. Davis mishandles it. And that is her 3rd error of the day, the first of this game. But NC State has put themselves in a tight spot as we have Wester, the speedy runner, standing on 3rd, and now Jenna Simon on 1st and just 1 out.
Well, not only that, now you've got a player in Kerner up in the batter's box that is more than capable of lifting one high and long enough to be able to score the runner. Not to mention that Jenna Simon is on the corner, and she's already had 2 stolen bases throughout the course of the first game. She may very well be on her way to her 3rd. Wouldn't be surprised to see her go on the first pitch, because surely I would not see Hutchinson throw that one, just because Wester could score on that throw.
I know, and if you want to go by what we saw earlier today, Hutchinson did not make the throw with runners on the corners and a steal attempt from the Fighting Irish. So I would expect NC State to give up that base, though they do want to try and keep the double play a possibility here. Stepping in now, Emily Kerner. She singled in her first at bat in the first inning. Going now, the throw over, tagged, and they got her. Tagged on the head was Simon. And Drew, you're absolutely right. She goes. Mirabella from the pitching circle points back at her catcher, congratulating her on an excellent throw, and the tag out. Now 2 away, and a fly ball from Kerner will no longer bring in Wester. The only bad part about that play is Mirabella brought in a ball. That one hit high out to left field. Going back, Ross, she makes the catch, and just like that, NC State out of the inning. A great throw out from the plate by Hutchison, and NC State escapes unscathed. Coming up for the Wolfpack will be Van Dyken, Hutchison, and Ross. We'll be right back with the bottom of the third. You're watching NC State Softball on GoPack.com and Wolfpack Sports Television. Welcome back to Curtis and Jacqueline Dale Softball Stadium here on the campus of NC State University as we get ready to start the bottom of the third inning. Up to the plate for the Wolfpack, the third baseman, Lana Van Dyken. She's walked 3 times today. That includes her first at bat in the first inning. And she was thrown out. A 3-5 from first to third. She's going to swing at the first one straight up the middle. A single for Lana Van Dyken on the first pitch of the inning. And NC State off and running to start the third.
Great hit by Van Dyken. Rhodes gives her something that she can put right back out the middle. It's solid contact. It's nothing special. It's just a job that needed to be done right there. Packer in business.
And Molly Hutchison, probably the most dangerous batter today for NC State, with 2 home runs and also now a walk and a run scored in this game. She steps in again with Van Dyken standing on first base. She takes first pitch, ball 1. Stepping back in now, Hutchison. Rhodes getting her sign. She'll check her armband for the pitch. Toe the rubber and get ready to go. Here comes the pitch from Rhodes. Swung on hard and missed by Hutchison. 1-1 now the count. No one out as it was a leadoff single for Lana Van Dyken.
Van Dyken again, probably not going to be the one to go.
Here comes the pitch. Straight down the middle, strike 2. 1-2 count to Molly Hutchison.
That may be the best sequence of pitches that Rhodes has thrown all game. Blows one by Hutchison and then comes right back and freezes her with a changeup. Beautifully done.
So a chance for the strikeout here for Rhodes. The pitch high. Ball 2, 2-2 count. Again, Van Dyken standing on first. Hutchison at the plate, and in the on-deck circle, Tyler Ross.
Well, this is no time to be cutesy for Rhodes. She just needs to start attacking and go for the strikeout as quickly as she can get it.
Here comes the pitch. Just outside. A good pitch there from Rhodes, but doesn't quite find her spot. And it is a full count to Hutchison now. The signal comes from the Fighting Irish dugout. And the pitch. Low. Van Dyken sliding into second. Even though it was a walk, she didn't need to do so. And NC State has 2 on with no outs here to start the third inning.
Once again, really good job by Hutchison being selective about the pitches that she wanted to swing at. I like the intensity from Van Dyken. That may be the most excited I've seen any player to be able to get down there for a walk. Just had to get dirty.
Now stepping in on the first base side of the plate, Tyler Ross. She'll take the first pitch, a strike from Rhodes, 0-1 count. In her first at-bat, she reached on a fielder's choice.
And, Chris, this is a real chance for State to go ahead and strike. If they're going to strand some more runners, this is not going to be pretty.
And that pitch dove under the bat of Tyler Ross for strike 2, and quickly in an 0-2 hole is Ross. The good thing, though, for NC State, they still haven't recorded an out this inning, so a strikeout here wouldn't be the worst thing. Pitch coming from Rhodes. Swung on and missed by Tyler Ross, and she goes down on 3 straight pitches as Rhodes records her 3rd strikeout of the game, as she will now await Maggie Hawkins, who singled in the run that NC State scored today.
She just needs to do that again. A single should be able to score Van Dyken from second.
So runners on first and second. That means 1 in scoring position in Lana Van Dyken. As stepping to the plate now, Maggie Hawkins. And she takes ball 1 from Rhodes. Pitch coming now from Rhodes, showing bunt, pulling back now and going to third. Van Dyken sliding in safe. Excellent speed there from Lana Van Dyken. And she beats out the tag from shortstop Sarah White. Also advancing was Hutchison, so now 2 runners in scoring position with 1 out. Maggie Hawkins a chance to pick up possibly a pair of RBIs with a single here.
And I know Van Dyken's going to get credit for that steal, but really a lot of that orchestration was because Hawkins faked the drag bunt, pulled Katie Haas off of third, and Van Dyken snuck in behind her and beat her back to the bag.
That pitch comes in low. A 2-1 count now with 1 out to Maggie Hawkins, and a great chance here to give NC State the lead. Rhodes awaits the sign. Now she'll toe the rubber and get her pitch. Winding and firing. Swung on straight up the middle. Another single for Hawkins. Coming home, Van Dyken rounding third and coming in Hutchison. She beats out the tag as the throw hits her. On the way in, she's safe. A 2 RBI single, and advancing to second on the throw, Maggie Hawkins. And all the offensive production came out of Hutchison in the first game. It's coming from Hawkins now, and NC State a 3-1 lead.
Heads up base running. Good job by Hutchison to go ahead and get down. The throw was on line, quite honestly. Hutchison blocks it off with the body on a quality slide. And a whole lot of kudos has to go out there to the young lady on second base. Hawkins being able to get that ball down up the middle. Good drive. State's up a deuce.
So now a runner on second. A swinging and missing Meredith Burrows, who is the designated player for NC State in this game. 1 out and an 0-1 count to Burrows. Maggie Hawkins still standing on second. Rhodes will deliver the pitch. Outside, ball 1. And Rhodes really right now, Drew, struggling in this inning, and NC State getting to her quickly. They picked up the run in the first. Now they've picked up 2 this inning. How do you think her confidence is right now?
You know, I think that she understands that her team's in a good scenario. This is a team that knows they can't explode on offense. For her now, what would really damage the mental psyche is if she's going to give up some more hits to the bottom of the lineup, a portion of State's lineup that really has not been all that productive throughout the course of the day as a whole.
And in this game, though, they have been much more productive. We've still seen 2 strikeouts from Burrows and Tharrington in the bottom 4, as Burrows takes that pitch for ball 2. She cut on the last one for a 2-2 count now. But we did see the single from Hannah Yeager, who's been the most productive of the bottom 4. That one fouled off by Burrows to keep herself alive. Still just 1 out in the 3rd inning for the Wolfpack. They've picked up 2 runs this inning, and they lead 3-1. Maggie Hawkins, who picked up 2 RBI on her second single of the game, bringing in Van Dyken and Hutchison, stands on second. And that pitch taken outside by Burrows, a full count, and a chance here for Burrows to get on base and keep this NC State rally going.
This would be a big one. If Burrows could get on base, it'd be the first time and now 5 at-bats that she's been able to get up there on base.
In the previous 4, she struck out. Here comes the payoff pitch. Swung on, grounded up the middle, slow roller off the foot of Simon, coming home Hawkins. And that's another run for the Wolfpack, though. 3 runs this inning, and NC State leads 4-1 with just 1 out.
That's going to be an error against Simon, too. That's one that she's got to have. Could have had time to line it up between her feet. I think she felt a little bit hurried. That's a tough one to swallow if you're Notre Dame, and now they are in dire straits. 3 runs in this 1 inning, only 1 out, and still a runner on base.
Number 9.
And if you're Notre Dame, you want to look ahead at your at-bats and how daunting Courtney Mirabella has been, who is actually now warming up in the NC State bullpen as she's going cold from sitting around for so long. As coming up to the plate, Hannah Yeager. She singled to lead off the last inning for NC State. She'll look to do the same here and keep this NC State rally going. 4-1 Wolfpack. 1 out here in the bottom of the 3rd. Yeager takes strike 1 from Rhodes. Reaching on an error was Meredith Burrows to break up her strikeout streak, as she struck out the first 4 times she came to the plate today. But she's able to drive in a run, though she won't get credit for an RBI. Here's the pitch from Rhodes. Chopped that in a slow roller down the first base side, picked up by Arizmendi and thrown over to Simon, covering first for the 2nd out of the inning, but advancing to second, Meredith Burrows.
Rare little 3-4 grounder right there. And really, you go back to Burrows, who makes contact, doesn't get the hit, but it was well driven. The ball was well placed. It was going to be a tough place to make a play for anybody. Simon got over there in time. It just nicked off the outside of her glove, and that's a tough hop to swallow.
So Morgan Tharrington steps to the plate. In her second appearance of the day, she struck out last inning. She takes ball 1, and she's got a runner in scoring position in Meredith Burrows. Rhodes will deal. That ball low. Ball 2 to Tharrington. And this is ever so important that Rhodes gets out of this inning now so that she doesn't have to face the top of the order again. She's already going to have to face at least Van Dyken and Davis, as that one's popped straight up into center. Getting under it, Kerner, she makes the catch and finally ends the inning for Notre Dame, but not before NC State brings home 3 runs in the form of Lana Van Dyken, Maggie Hawkins, and Molly Hutchison. So the Notre Dame Fighting Irish will try to respond with Katie Haas, Michaela Arizmendi, and Cassidy Whidden when we come back. You're watching NC State Softball on GoPack.com and Wolfpack Sports Television. Welcome back to Curtis and Jacqueline Dale Softball Stadium, and swinging at the first pitch, Katie Haas straight to Renata Davis at short. She throws over to Hawkins at first, and 1 pitch, 1 out for Mirabella to start the 4th inning. NC State picked up 3 runs in the bottom of the 3rd inning, and Drew, NC State really rolling right now.
Yeah, they are. Now, that's one that may be a little bit on Notre Dame. Yeah, that's a good pitch. If you're going to drive it, go ahead and drive it, but they're going to need to find a way to manufacture some offense, and it's got to come fairly quickly.
First baseman Michaela Arizmendi up at the plate now, standing on the first base side of home plate. She fouls off the first pitch, strike 1. Mirabella gets her sign. She'll toe the rubber, get ready to deliver. Pitch in, swung on and missed by Arizmendi, and quickly into an 0-2 hole, the Irish first baseman.
You got to know that Coach Deanna Gumpf over there in the Notre Dame dugout is trying to think, how in the world do I spark this offense? Because it just hasn't been there really through either of these 2 games.
No, and it's not something she's used to. This is a very successful program for Notre Dame in their 26 seasons. They have not finished the season under 500. That one is swung on and missed. A great change from Mirabella there, and she is retired the second batter of the inning with a strikeout. So NC State 1 out away from being back up to the plate again. Coming up now to the plate, Cassidy Whidden, the catcher for the Fighting Irish, as she takes the first pitch low from Mirabella on a 1-0 count. Whidden struck out her last at-bat as she led off in the 2nd inning. She's had somewhat of a quiet day. She did not pick up a hit in the first game either. She turns on that one, an inside pitch, and rockets that one into the NC State bullpen. And a 1-1 count to her now. I'm
telling you, Chris, if this was cricket, Notre Dame would be great. They're hitting these hard. They're just not keeping them within the 90 degrees.
Pitch coming from Mirabella, popped up by Whidden, going over into shallow left field to make the catch. Davis, and the side retired in order. 1-2-3 for Mirabella, who is really finding her form. NC State will look to further their 3-run lead as Morgan Tharrington, Alyssa Compton, and Renata Davis will come to the plate when we start the bottom of the 4th. You're watching NC State Softball on Go. Morgan Tharrington will step to the plate here for NC State. Alyssa Compton is coming to the plate for NC State. Tharrington finished off the last inning for NC State. So it will be Compton, Davis, and Van Dyken stepping up for NC State, as they hold a 4-1 lead over the visiting Notre Dame Fighting Irish, number 23 in the country right now. And NC State looking to break in as Compton takes strike 1 from Rhodes, who really struggled last inning, Drew. She's going to have to find her way here.
Yeah, she did, and this is going to be a big test inning for her. I know Deanna Gumpf did have, at one point, a couple of players warming up in the Notre Dame bullpen. They have since been put to rest, but There are a couple of big-time names coming up for NC State, Davis and Van Dyken most notably, and if either of them get a hit, you open up Hutchison once again.
So that one fouled off, strike 2 to Compton. 0-2 count for her. That one fouled off again. It's Compton trying to stay alive and start NC State off with another leadoff hit. They were able to do so in the second and the third inning with singles from Yeager and Van Dyken. So the 0-2 count, Rhodes looking for the strikeout. Here comes the pitch, high and outside, ball 1. 3 strikeouts on the day so far for Rhodes. She's in a good position here to pick up the 4th. She's going to have to get her control back. She's struggled, especially in the last inning as NC State exploded for 3 runs. Pitch from Rhodes, swung on and fouled off again by Compton. Great job by finding the pitches in the strike zone and getting a bat on them by Alyssa Compton. And the tough thing, Drew, for Rhodes right now is she knows after this batter she faces the top of the lineup and the most productive bats for this NC State team.
Exactly.
Here comes the pitch again outside, and that evens the count for Compton at 2-2.
And you know, when you're in this much of a pitcher's count, 0-2, 1-2, you do have a couple of options, and even now with still a ball to work with you do, but I don't like her being so cutesy with it. If she'd go ahead and try a fastball strikeout, it may work.
That one lined down the right field line, just foul. As if that one hit fair, it had the potential to be a triple, which is very rare in softball. As you look out into the left and right field corners, the number indicating the distance in feet from home plate is 200 feet, so a lot less space, but again, that one had the chance, if it was fair, for Compton to pick up a triple. 2-2 count still. Swung on, grounded right back to Rhodes. She'll throw over to first to Arizmendi, and that's another out for the Fighting Irish.
Good work by Rhodes. That's an out that you expect to get, needed to get, and the job's done right there. Granted, I think you do have to give a little bit of credit to Compton. She was able to battle and stay alive by fouling off a few, so State continues to work on the young pitcher for Notre Dame.
You're exactly right there. Drew is now stepping in the leadoff batter, Renata Davis. She takes strike 1 right down the middle from Rhodes. Big part of the lineup coming up is Allie Rhodes will have to find 2 more outs. She will face Renata Davis and Lana Van Dyken, and if she can't get both of them, she'll have to face Molly Hutchison again. Hutchison walked both times, but she scored runs both times as well in this game. Is that ball taken for ball 1 on Renata Davis? So an even 1-1 count with 1 out and no one on. Bottom of the 4th, that one comes in. Low from Rhodes, a 2-1 count to Davis now. Davis will step out and take time very quickly. She did, in her first at-bat, step out and got lucky and took a ball. That one comes inside on her for a 3-1 count. Probably, Drew, one of the strangest things that I've ever seen in a softball game is the batter's not granted time. The pitch comes in, and she still gets lucky enough to pick up a ball.
Yeah, and it's one thing not to be granted time, but normally you're going to stick in there until you hear the umpire say something. There, she just completely removed herself from the batter's box.
That one lined right back to Rhodes. It took 1 hop. She grabbed it through to first to Arizmendi, and she gets the out. So quickly 2 away for Rhodes as she looks to make short work of this inning.
Short work, yes, and right there, very fortunate, just sticks the glove up and finds the ball in it. It was essentially the same thing that Compton did. Compton's was not quite as hard of a hit.
So now stepping in will be Lana Van Dyken. She's 1 for 1 today, or excuse me, in this game, and she also has a walk in the first inning. She picked up the leadoff single last inning for NC State. She would come in to score on the single from Maggie Hawkins. That one she's going to loft out over the NC State bullpen down the left field side and out of play. That'll even the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. So Van Dyken steps back in on the first base side of home plate. And she'll get the pitch from Rhodes. That one's high. Ball 2.
It's been a good job by Rhodes overall this inning, but now she's got to start trying to minimize these balls. She's keeping herself out there for too long.
Yeah, and that's been her big problem, and part of it is NC State doing a great job getting bats on the balls in the strike zone, as that one's in the dirt, and sliding in to make the save is the catcher Whidden. She makes that save, I believe, with her thigh, and the count up to 3-1. But NC State doing a great job fouling off strikes after they've reached 2, Drew.
Yes, they are. They're staying alive, and Rhodes has got to find a way to prevent that, either attacking or really throwing out some junk balls and spinning them away.
And Van Dyken was ready to go. She tossed the bat, and a pitch that looked like it was outside for ball 4 is called strike 2. So a full count now to Van Dyken as Rhodes looks to get out of this 4th inning without allowing another run. Van Dyken steps in, payoff pitch. Swung on and hit hard to center field. Going back, over the wall, it's gone. Another home run for the Wolfpack. This time, it's Lana Van Dyken, and NC State leads 5-1.
Well, I was honestly thinking that was going to be a karma strikeout for taking the stroll down first base a little too soon, but clearly I was proven wrong. Absolutely outstanding. The composure right there, that's tough. If you think you're going to get the walk and you have to come back and swing the bat again, and there she does it to perfection. Puts it out in one of the deepest parts of the field. Absolutely outstanding.
That is the 4th home run of the day for NC State. So they had 3 in the first game, 2 from Hutchison, who comes to the plate now.
Now batting number 7.
2 outs, nobody on after the solo shot from Lana Van Dyken. And Hutchison having to take off her catching gear as she was ready to get behind the plate and catch for the next inning. She takes a hard cut at the first pitch from Rhodes, strike 1.
I think she was swinging for Western Boulevard right there. That was a wicked fastball, and Hutchinson just couldn't quite catch up to it.
So Hutchison will step back in on the right-hand side of the plate. She'll cut it. That one chopped to second, picked up by Simon, tossed over to first for Arizmendi, and that is the 3rd out of the inning. So Lana Van Dyken finds a solo shot and extends the NC State lead to 5-1. The Notre Dame Fighting Irish will look to respond with Africano, Sullivan, and White when we come back in the top of the 5th. You're watching NC State Softball on GoPack.com and Wolfpack Sports Television. And we're back here in Raleigh, North Carolina on the campus of NC State University as the Wolfpack take on the Notre Dame Fighting Irish in the 2nd of 2 games today, as they took home the win in the first game by a score of 4-2. NC State, a dominating performance through the first 4 innings of this one, as they lead 5-1 over Notre Dame. Stepping in now, trying to cut into that lead, will be the right fielder Casey Africano, as she takes the first pitch from Mirabella high and inside, ball 1. Mirabella, a strong performance so far. She's given up 3 hits and 1 run and struck out 4. She's ready to start the 5th. That pitch also high and inside on Africano. A 2-0 count to start.
And you know, Chris, it may not seem like this because it is the bottom third of the lineup, but if Mirabella does make a couple of mistakes here, this could be the inning Notre Dame could get something going because they would have big hitters coming up right behind this lower third.
Pitch popped high and foul by Africano and out of play. So a 2-1 count now. Africano will step back in. Getting ready for the pitch, Mirabella. She'll fire. That one's inside. 3-1. Mirabella needs a strike here. This is a hitter's count for Africano. If it's a good pitch, I expect to see a swing. Here's the pitch. Swung on and hit hard to left field. That is gone. No question. Off the netting above the wall. And a leadoff home run. The first one of the day for Notre Dame has cut the lead to 3. Casey Africano, the solo shot, and a chance now for Notre Dame to get right back into this softball game.
And Chris, had that netting not been there, she would have put that one right up at midfield of the soccer field. That was absolutely crushed. That's the first real mistake that Mirabella has made all day, and she paid dearly for it.
It'll be interesting to see how she responds. Still a young pitcher for the Wolfpack, just a sophomore, but she did get quite a bit of experience for this team last year. And she'll have to stay poised as coming up now. The designated player, Kimmy Sullivan, she was able to strike her out in the second inning.
And Sullivan is the lone change in the lineup again, aside from the pitcher for Notre Dame.
First pitch in to Sullivan. It's ball 1. So Mirabella waiting on the sign now. She'll look to get back into things. She struggled a little bit here to start the inning. That pitch inside, 2-0, or excuse me, that one's going to be called a strike on the inside corner. So a 1-1 count here for Mirabella on Sullivan. NC State still a 3-run advantage, 5-2 the score. So that pitch comes in. Strike 2, exact same place from Mirabella, inside corner. And she's quickly back up, 1-2 on the count.
Now you do have a couple pitches to play with. I expect her to go outside and then try to come back and attack.
She's going to come right back inside, same place. Gets her looking, and Kimmy Sullivan, her second strikeout of the day. And Mirabella, a great job responding to the home run with a strikeout, Drew.
I'm kind of surprised to see her attack, but what works, works. It's a great pitch by Mirabella, and that'll get your head right back into the ball game here.
And attacking inside is always a strong suit for pitchers. It's the best place to go. It's really hard to get your hands inside on an inside pitch. And she was able to hang up Sullivan 3 times in a row with an inside pitch. And she throws the first pitch to Sarah White outside, ball 1. But Mirabella looking to keep this game under control here. That pitch turned on by White off the netting in front of the NC State dugout. Foul ball and a 1-1 count.
It's a good thing to want to try to pull that ball out into left field, most certainly, but if you're going to do that, you have to be careful not to get there earlier. That's going to be the result, and it just functions as a strike the same way.
So here comes the 1-1 pitch. Again turned on by White. This one chopped up the left field side and foul. So again, Mirabella starts the second at-bat in a row with a ball and then comes back with 2 strikes and a 1-2 count now. And Drew, I wouldn't be surprised to see her go back inside like she did against Sullivan last time. She hasn't really gone inside too much here against White, but we'll see what happens. Here comes the pitch inside, but it's high. So a 2-2 count.
I mean, it's a good look there to try to go inside, and I even like the elevated pitch to try to force even a defensive swing, but that's just a little too high. Good patience by White.
Here comes the pitch. Turned on again and hit hard. Foul up against the NC State softball sign down the left field side over the NC State bullpen, where it looks like Emily Wyman is warming up. We might see her as she's come in relief of Mirabella a couple of times this year already.
Yeah, you could see her come in relief. Right now, I think Mirabella's doing a really good job.
That ball looked like it caught the outside corner, but it will be ball 3. And so a full count on Sarah White.
Here's another big one. 1 out. If you allow that 9-hole hitter to get on, it could be 2 batters in the upper half of the lineup for Notre Dame.
That one again turned on and lined straight at the NC State dugout. Protective netting there, though, keeping all the players in that dugout safe. And the count stays full.
Well, she sent in a couple of blisters just a little too far left. That's the fact of the matter. The contact is there. Now she's just got to straighten it out.
Mirabella toes the rubber. Here comes payoff part 2. Way up and out, as it looked like Mirabella hung onto that ball a little bit too long and looped that one over the head of Sarah White, and that's a walk. And Coach Sean Rychek will come out to talk to his pitcher as well as his infield, as one swing of the bat here from Carly Wester, who, by the way, has singled twice already this game. One swing of her bat could cut this game to a 1-run game.
And this is not the batter you wanted to face in this scenario, and coming right behind her is going to be Jenna Simon. If one of those two gets a hit, then you're looking at this inning having to deal with Kerner and possibly Haas, and those are 2 players you really don't want to deal with. And if you look at the top 4 in this Notre Dame lineup, it does become pick your poison, quite honestly. They're that potent.
And they have been fairly silent tonight, aside from the top 2 who have really given Notre Dame most of their production. But again, 2 for 2 already in this game against Mirabella is Wester, and she'll get ready for her slap hit chance here against Mirabella. She takes strike 1. A chance, though, for NC State if Mirabella can force a ground ball to get a double play, though. Wester very fast. That pitch lined over the head of Van Dyken and into left field. Ross will field it, but another single from the Fighting Irish left fielder. She's now 3 for 3 on the day. And Courtney Mirabella finds herself in a little bit of a jam with runners on first and second and just 1 out.
It's a great piece of hitting again, though. You just send it over the left side of the infield. It falls right on the lip of the outfield. And now you've got a runner in scoring position, and the tying run is over there at home plate right now.
And that tying run is in the form of Jenna Simon now as she stands at the plate. First pitch from Mirabella. Looks like it's just low and outside. Ball 1. She showed bunt there, and so you see Van Dyken coming down the third base line, ready for that, and Renata Davis has shifted over to cover third.
She shows bunt, but she's walking out past the edge of the batter's box like she's trying for a slap hit, just like that.
And that was almost perfectly executed. Just foul ball there. And that will be a strike against Wester, the count 1-1. Or excuse me, against Simon.
You know, it'd be a difficult thing to do, but if Simon was actually to go bunt down the first base line, there is nobody covering. It could be an everybody safe situation.
Slap bunt there. Caught by Van Dyken back to third. She makes the throw and gets the out. And so Sarah White will have to walk back to the dugout. Well played there by NC State. Van Dyken ready down the third base line, and a great cover, Drew, by Davis.
Really was good defensive shift right there to get back to the base that needed to be covered. On that slap bunt, though, you have to be careful. If you're going to make that play, you've got to be able to chop it either where it's going to spin or it's going to bounce up high enough. It wasn't the best of plays there.
Here comes the pitch from Mirabella. Foul tip there from number 3, the center fielder, Emily Kerner. Kerner was able to single for an RBI in the first inning. She drove in that run for Notre Dame. A single here could bring in another run. Mirabella steps back into the circle, fires. That one just misses the outside corner. 1-1 count. 2 outs, though, now, as Mirabella looks to do some damage control with runners on first and second, and already a run given up this inning. She gets the call, and now she'll step back onto the rubber. Swung on and popped straight up and out of play. So another strike there to Kerner. And a 1-2 count, and now Mirabella 1 pitch away from getting out of this inning.
Mirabella just dodged a bullet right there, though. That pitch was just a little outside, barrel height, waist height, and Kerner just could not quite get all the barrel on it.
That one hit high and into shallow left field. It'll go into foul territory. Coming over to make the play, Compton, and that will do it for the inning. After giving up a leadoff home run, Mirabella is able to respond and hold off a charge from the Fighting Irish, who strand 2. NC State will look to get that run back with Ross, Hawkins, and Burrows when we come back for the bottom of the 5th. You're watching NC State Softball on GoPack.com and Wolfpack Sports Television. Tyler Ross will step into the batter's box for NC State to lead off the bottom of the 5th. NC State has picked up 4 runs in the last 2 innings, and they relented one on a solo home run from Africano to lead off the top of the 5th for the Irish. That puts NC State at a 5-2 lead now, as they're just 6 outs away from sweeping this doubleheader. First pitch in on Ross is in the dirt and between the legs of catcher Whidden for ball 1.
Right through the 5-hole.
Now Ross is struck out and reached on fielder's choice, so 0 for 2 in this game. She'll take a hard cut at that pitch, and it'll even the count 1-1 with a strike. Here comes the pitch from Rhodes. That one outside. Ross watches, and that is ball 2. And the count now 2 balls, 1 strike. And NC State will look to further their lead. They already have a fairly comfortable 3-run lead, but no lead is big enough as Ross swings and misses at that one. A 2-2 count now to her.
And Chris, truth be told, as we look across the score sheet for this game, really it's a 2-2 ball game if you subtract that absolutely humongous third inning where State was able to grab 3 runs.
That one chopped to second, shoveled over by Simon to Arizmendi at first, and that's the first out. And a lead-off ground out for Ross. As now stepping in will be Maggie Hawkins, who's having herself a game here. 2 for 2 with 2 singles, as well as 3 runs batted in.
So they got him whipping one of those, and they put up the thing of Serrano. That's awesome.
So she'll step in on the left side of the plate, catches that one off the outside or top of the bat, and fouls it high up and over the score box. 0-1 the count to Hawkins. Rhodes ready to deliver. That one comes in low and just outside. Hawkins watches that one, and the count now even at 1-1.
Good patience by Hawkins. NC State's going to want to continue to do that. They don't have to do anything spectacular, just take what's given to them and work with that.
Here comes the third pitch. Check swing there from Hawkins as she hesitates, and she watches a ball go by, bringing the count to 2-1. Hawkins has shown a lot of confidence in this at-bat, Drew. I think probably because of what she's been able to do in her last 2 at-bats.
Well, what she's been able to do in her last 2 at-bats, and her teammates have been able to give her some confidence. Rhodes has proven to be hittable.
Here comes the pitch, swung on and grounded right to second base. Another 4-3 putout. So that's 2 4-3 putouts in a row for the Fighting Irish, and quickly 2 outs. As Meredith Burrows will step up. She's struck out and reached on an error. And she's still looking for her first hit of the day.
And the other thing, Chris, is last game where we had a combined 19 strikeouts between Wyman and Naslin. In this game, you're seeing a whole lot more contact outs. And that's one of the big things. That the game changes with different pitchers and different batters for that matter, but it's a lot about response. And you have to take what's been given to you, and NC State's been able to hit the ball, but sometimes that does result in some outs.
First pitch to Burrows is in there for strike 1. She will try to avoid her 5th strikeout of the day. Hopefully she was able to get some confidence. She was finally able to get contact and put a ball in play. In her last at bat, she made it all the way to second. That was in that 3-run 3rd inning for NC State. As she takes ball 2 for a 2-1 count. 2 out for NC State. The Fighting Irish trying to stay as close as possible and give themselves a chance here in the last 2 innings. Big cut from Burrows, and the count now even 2-2 as that was a swinging strike.
She did get a piece of that one, but not enough to actually deflect the ball in an odd direction for a foul ball technically.
Rhodes gets the sign, looking for that last pitch for the strikeout, way outside and high. Full count now to Burrows. She looks to extend this inning for NC State and bring Hannah Yeager up, who stands right now in the on-deck circle. Rhodes in the circle, ready to throw. Swung on and missed. Strike 3 to Burrows. And it is a 1-2-3 inning for Allie Rhodes and the Fighting Irish. They picked up one last inning. They'll look to inch closer in the top of the 6th as Katie Haas, Michaela Arizmendi, and Cassidy Whidden will come up to start the 6th inning. We'll be right back. You're watching NC State Softball on GoPack.com and Wolfpack Sports Television. Just 6 outs remaining for the Fighting Irish. 6 outs between NC State and a win here in this 2nd game and a series win against the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Teams have only met 3 times previously, and that includes the game this morning. NC State a 2-1 lead in the series as they split a midweek doubleheader up in South Bend last year. The first pitch from Mirabella on the leadoff batter, third baseman Katie Haas, is taken for a ball. It's by 1-0 count. Wynn picks up again, going from right to left across the field. That one fouled off by Haas. 1-1 the count.
And Chris, there are a couple of roster changes of note for NC State. The freshman from Petaluma, California, Macaulay Prickett, is now in center field. Hannah Yeager shifts over to right field. Other than that, everything stays the same.
So that pitch lofted high down the left field side and out of play. So another strike on Haas. A 1-2 count now. Mirabella looking for that 6th strikeout. And she gets it. A swing and a miss there from Haas. Strike 3, 6 strikeouts on the day for Mirabella. And now just 5 outs left for the Wolfpack.
Yeah, but you really can't afford to count down quite yet. Notre Dame was able to try to spark a little bit of a rally in the last game. Granted, they didn't score any runs, but put a couple of players in position.
First pitch from Mirabella now as Arizmendi steps in, the first baseman. She takes that one high and outside for ball 1. Again, Emily Wyman in the bullpen for NC State, warming up. She might close this one out. That one lofted high. It's going to get just out into the outfield, crashing in Prickett. She reaches over her head and makes the grab, so her first play is a good one in the second out for NC State, as that's a fly out to center for Michaela Arizmendi.
Arizmendi didn't miss it by much, though. That was a pitch that she could have got a whole lot of the barrel on, and if she had, that one also would have been out of the ballpark. It's not that Notre Dame is getting totally outplayed. It's a game of near misses for the Fighting Irish, and they just hadn't been able to connect on some.
And a good pitch to start the at-bat against catcher Cassidy Whitten for Mirabella, as that one's in there and taken by Whitten for strike 1. 2 outs already in the top of the 6th, a 5-2 lead for the Wolfpack. Mirabella, the pitch. Chopped foul down the left field line by Whitten, and quickly into an 0-2 hole is the catcher.
And that one nearly took out Deanna Gump down there on the third baseline, too.
So Mirabella looking to pick up 2 strikeouts this inning. If she can find one more strike against Whitten. That one comes in, pops straight up and over our broadcast booth here and out of play. The count will remain 0-2 on the foul ball. Whitten has struck out once already today. She also hit a soft blooper into shallow left field that was handled by Renata Davis. So 0-2 in this game. That pitch outside and in the dirt by Mirabella. She looked like she may have been trying to get Whitten to chase that pitch and wasn't able to do so. So a 1-2 count now. Mirabella will check her armband and get the pitch. That one again fouled straight back and over the press box here at Curtis and Jacqueline Dale Stadium for another foul ball. And Whitten doing a great job, Drew, staying alive. We've seen Notre Dame do that a lot today.
Staying alive, not missing the ball by much, just trying to hone in and figure out that right pitch to drive.
That one swung on and it hits her in the face, immediately running out. She's going to need some assistance. Killed over is Whitten. And the crowd goes silent here as she's crawling on her hands and knees. That was painful. Immediately in with a towel to catch up any blood, and that's not something you want to see from anybody.
No, that's a really difficult one to take, and it is just a stunned silence. The pain of that, and unfortunately you could hear it up here. That's just a resounding blow and a very tough thing to see.
The good thing is she was not knocked out. She's been completely responsive as she's sitting up just to the left of home plate, but very tough pitch to take.
And training staff will continue to attend to her.
All right, and we're going to step aside very quickly as we allow Cassidy Whitten to be attended to. Again, you're watching NC State Softball on GoPack.com and Wolfpack Sports Television. And a round of applause for Cassidy Whidden as she will be escorted off the field with a towel over her face. She took a foul tip to the face as this place has been completely silent. It goes back to that as she slowly makes her way past the Fighting Irish dugout.
They are going to have to go attend to her and make sure she doesn't need any further assistance. And she did foul tip that, as you said. Didn't take it directly to the face on the swing. So that's always a tough sight to see. Umpires are going to allow Courtney Mirabella to warm up a little bit more. And now I believe you're going to get the pitch hitcher in.
So it looks like it'll be Megan Sorley will come in. She played in the last game. And in that last game, Sorley went 1 for 3. She struck out once. And she will be in a hole here with a 1-2 count that she'll take over for Whidden. But this crowd slowly coming back to life after that, as they immediately went to silence after that ball hit Whidden in the face. She's off the field now. Our best wishes to her. Hopefully she will be okay. Now stepping in, though, Megan Sorley.
Sorley has 1 strike to work with.
And so she swings and misses strike 3, and that will do it for the top of the 6th as NC State retires the side in order. When we come back, NC State will look to further the lead as Hannah Yeager, Morgan Tharrington, and Alyssa Compton will come to the plate. You're watching NC State Softball on GoPack.com and Wolfpack Sports Television. And welcome back to Jack Curtis and Jacqueline Dale Softball Stadium as we get ready for the bottom of the 6th inning. NC State with a 5-2 lead. And if they're able to hold on, this will be their last at-bat. Coming to the plate, Hannah Yeager. She singled in the 2nd inning and was thrown out at first in her 2nd at-bat in the 3rd inning. Her check swing doesn't hold up in time, and so a strike on the first pitch to Yeager, 0-1 the count.
Yeager's been somebody that really overall has had a mediocre day, was able to have a single to lead off the 2nd inning for NC State, then grounded out to first earlier.
And we do have a fielding change to announce as is expected with Whidden going off the field. She was the catcher for the Fighting Irish, but now coming behind the plate for the Fighting Irish. That one's lined straight up the middle by Yeager. Right between the shortstop, White, and the second baseman, Simon. A leadoff single for Hannah Yeager, her 2nd one of the day, and she's now 2 for 3 in this game. As I was saying, the change coming back behind the plate now is Casey Africano from right field, and Megan Sorley will go out into right to take Africano's place.
It's a good piece of hitting by Hannah Yeager right there. Doesn't do a lot with the ball. Hands in, tight swing, and puts a frozen rope right out there, practically on top of second base, and gets a single again.
So Morgan Tharrington will step in. She takes strike 1. She shows bunt. Crashing in from first base is Arizmendi, but pulling it back is Tharrington, so everyone stays in place. It's taken as a ball, so that will be a 1-1 count to Tharrington. Rhodes ready to deliver the 3rd pitch. Bunted down by Tharrington, but foul. And she struggled in I believe it was the 1st inning, or maybe it was the 2nd inning, or it might have been the 3rd. When she was trying to lay down bunts, she had trouble, Drew, and again, that continues for her. She tries to lay down the bunt there, and it goes foul for strike 2.
Now, Tharrington was trying to move over Yeager after her first single.
Pitch coming, swung on and popped shallow right field coming in. Sorley, who has just come into the game, makes the play, and Yeager will hold it first as that's a fly out for Tharrington, as she has gone 0 for 3 in this contest, and 1 out in the bottom of the 6th for the Wolfpack. Alyssa Compton will now step to the plate for the Wolfpack. I'm sorry, that will be Molly Martin, as she will pinch hit, it looks like, for Compton as Coach Sean Rychek is trying to get some experience for some of his players who haven't had the opportunity to play today.
I like this move by Coach Rychik, too. He understands that this game should be in hand. If you're going to blow a 3-run lead in the top of the 7th, quite honestly, you don't deserve to win. But I like this. Molly Martin should be a good fit right here.
So she will step in for her first at-bat of the day and likely her only at-bat. She takes the first pitch outside for ball 1. Hannah Yeager with the leadoff single still standing on first. Comes the pitch, check swing. It's a strike anyway, so a 1-1 count for Martin. Pitch in, straight down the middle, strike 2, now a 1-2 count to Martin. Martin has not started a game yet this year, but she's made 6 appearances. She's had 2 at-bats. She has picked up a run, but she has not picked up a hit yet. So this will be her 3rd at-bat. Cut on and missed. She was spinning around on that pitch, and that's a strikeout for Molly Martin, and the 2nd out of the inning for Rhodes.
Just wasn't a committed swing at all. A little lofty, chopping wood style. That's one she'd probably like to have back, but a really good job on the pitch there by Rhodes.
Yeah, now Martin, only a sophomore, not the most experienced hitter clearly on this NC State team, still developing and learning, and that'll certainly be a learning experience for her. So that pitch coming in from Rhodes catches the outside corner for a strike on Renata Davis, who has struggled in this game and really has not had her best outing today. As she went 1 for 3 in the first game. That one hit hard and high down the right field side and off the shed in foul territory in the right field corner. So it'll be strike 2 to Davis. She is 0 for 3 in this game. In the first inning, she popped up to second to lead off, and then she flew out to right field in the second inning and was thrown out on a 1-3 from the pitcher. That was in the 4th inning. That one in the dirt. Handled, though, by Africano, and she's able to hold Yeager at first. 1-2 count now to Renata Davis. Davis will step back in and set. Here comes the pitch from Rhodes. Way outside, Yeager going. The throw held onto by Africano. She'll give the base to Yeager. With the 2-2 count and 2 out, it doesn't really matter too much where Yeager is unless Renata Davis is able to put this into play. Now, a meeting between the battery of this Irish team.
Yeah, they've really got to figure out a way to try to go ahead and finish off Davis here. You don't want to get back to Van Dyken, who's been very powerful. Walk, a single, and a home run.
You don't want to forget after her is Molly Hutchison, who is right now 0 for 1, but she also has 2 walks in this game. She has done a great job getting on base and being an offensive producer for the Wolfpack today. Here comes the pitch, swung on and fouled down the right field side and out of play by Davis as she stays alive. Still the 2-2 count to Renata Davis. 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. This could be the last Wolfpack batter of the day if NC State is able to limit Notre Dame to 2 or fewer runs in the 7th. A hard hit from Davis over the head and off the wall, over the head of Kerner. Coming in to score is Yeager. An RBI single for Renata Davis, and NC State extends the lead to 6-2.
Well hit. I thought it was originally going to be caught, but that ball just kept carrying and doinked right off the O in Wolfpack at center field. NC State is really hitting them to the deepest part of the ballpark today, and that's been tough for the Irish to handle.
So now, Lana Van Dyken, who last inning with 2 outs was able to knock a home run for NC State. Excuse me, that was 2 innings ago. And she'll take strike 1. Second pitch coming in from Rhodes. Looking for a slap bunt was Van Dyken, but she pulls back in and lets the ball go by. 1-1 count now. Renata Davis stands on first with her RBI single, which was able to bring in Hannah Yeager. Still 2 outs. Pitch inside. Davis going. She gets there, slides in, and she's safe. But she's going to stay down on the bag as it looks like she took a hit sliding in. As Sarah White stepped on the bag, but she'll get up. She looks like she's okay.
It's a little bit surprising to me that Sean Reichik would give the okay for the steal there. 2 outs and you're 3 outs away from winning the ball game.
The only thing I can think is maybe he's looking to get some practice for his team as that ball's in the dirt. Now a 3-1 count to Lana Van Dyken, who will look to reach base all 4 times if she can here. She'll have reached all 4 of her at-bats today. Here's the pitch. That one is high, and the second walk of the game taken by Lana Van Dyken, and that puts runners on first and second for catcher Molly Hutchison, who, as we have seen today, is very dangerous at the plate.
Indeed she is. And I don't think that Sean Reichik would be going for a mercy rule here. Wouldn't really matter. Well, I take that back, it would, because this would be the completion of an inning. But he's still got a way to go. If Hutchison's able to knock in and clear the bases here, then we can talk about that a little bit further, but of course, Chris, mercy rule, 8 runs at the completion of any inning. A 3-run homer, it would really put that as a possibility, but I'm going to go with your original opinion, and I think he's just trying to get some practice on these runnings.
So runners on first and second for Hutchison as she takes that pitch high, ball 2. 2-0 count, and Rhodes now, Drew, really struggling. She just needs one more out to finish this day. She just can't find it right now.
Yeah, that's right, and it's been tough for her. It's not all on her specifically. Has had a couple of fielding issues. The offense hasn't been there to help her out. But an outing that she'd probably like to forget.
Yes, and now she delivers a 3rd straight ball to Hutchison, a 3-0 count. A chance for a 3rd walk just this game for Hutchison. She takes that pitch high, 4-pitch walk, and now the bases are loaded with 2 outs for Tyler Ross.
Well, a home run here would function as a quote-unquote walk-off.
And Tyler Ross has picked up a home run today.
Chris, now it looks like we're going to be into a chess match here between Sean Reichik and Deanna Gumpf.
Yes, and Gumpf will be making a pitching change, it looks like. Coming in will be
Katie Barriant.
Katie Barriant coming in to pitch.
Now into pitch for Notre Dame, number 29, Katie Barriant.
Barriant is going to be another left-handed arm here, Chris, so not a whole lot different to face. And just the fact that it is a new body and a fresh face on the mound.
And she just needs to get 1 out, so easier said than done against a very explosive NC State lineup thus far today. Barriant right now has made 7 appearances, 2 of them starts. She has a 1-1 win-loss record, although this loss would not go into her column if Notre Dame does lose. Her ERA, 6.42 through 12 innings. She's given up 20 hits, 12 runs, 11 of them are earned. She struck out 12 while walking 6. So not the most spectacular stat line for Barriant, but not too bad for a college pitcher. She just needs 1 out, as we said, so looks like she's gone in to pick up
She may have gone
an armband, it looks like.
That pitching armband.
so that she knows what pitches she has to throw when they get called. Again, NC State right now a 6-2 lead. How did they get there? It's been quite a ride. As it started with a run for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish in the top of the first. It started with a leadoff single and the stolen base for Carly Wester. She was driven in on a single by Emily Kerner. And then the home run in the top of the fifth by Casey Africano is the only other run for the Fighting Irish. That cut the lead to 5-2. Molly Hutchison came in on a single from Maggie Hawkins to tie the game up in the first inning. A 3-run third inning put NC State up 4-1. And then the solo home run in the fourth inning from Lana Van Dyken made it 5-1. And then the run that has come in this inning has made it 6-2 after Africano hit the home run in the top of the fifth to make it 5-2. So Tyler Ross will take the first pitch. It's a strike from Barriant. Barriant ready. Second pitch of the day for her. Just outside. 1-1 now the count to Tyler Ross.
Good patience by Ross here, and that's really what you're going to look for. Yeah, if she gets a pitch, she's going to try to drive it, but that's not the ultimate goal right now. State has a comfortable cushion.
So now the 1-1 delivery. Chopped foul just behind home plate by Ross. 1-2 count, and now Barriant one strike away from getting out of this inning. Now, if she can't get out with Tyler Ross, she's going to have to give up at least one run. As Renata Davis stands on third base, Lana Van Dyken on second, and Molly Hutchison on first. Here's the pitch. High. Ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Tyler Ross. Barriant gets the sign, checks her armband for the pitch, and now she'll deliver. Hit hard up the middle. Tyler Ross will bring in one, rounding Van Dyken coming home now. That's 2 runs on a double for Tyler Ross, and NC State has made it 8-2.
That's one way to get it done. That's not trying to do too much. That's taking what the pitcher is giving you, able to drive that ball right through the 5.5 hole, very Tony Gwynn-esque, straight down all the way back to the track. And you're not able to do anything with that if you're the defense. That's just it. Now NC State is up a couple of field goals on Notre Dame.
So an 8-2 lead for the Wolfpack. Still 2 outs. That one hit hard line off the glove of the shortstop, White. Safe at third is Ross. Safe at first is Hawkins. And another run for NC State. And they are now 1 run away from the mercy rule.
You know, I didn't think this was going to happen, Chris, but now not only that, they're only a few feet away from a mercy rule.
So that will be an E6 on White. She let that one drop out of her glove. So not an earned run there for the Wolfpack, nor another RBI for Hawkins, though she did bring in another run. Stepping in now, Meredith Burrows. Runners at the corners for NC State, still 2 outs. Barriant will deliver the first pitch to Burrows. And it is ball 1.
And Chris, notably, NC State has battered around the entire roster in this inning. Everybody's hit.
And Burrows will look to bring back up Hannah Yeager, who led off the inning with a single. That pitch just catches the outside corner. Strike 1, 1-1 now the count to Meredith Burrows. That was Barriant still trying to battle out of this inning. Ready to deliver the 1-1. That one's in the dirt. Ball 2, 2-1 count now to Burrows.
This is something Notre Dame really, really wants to avoid. Especially, you don't want to be mercy ruled ever, but especially not in the road on the ACC when you're ranked and your opponent is not.
And this has really been a weekend where NC State has something to prove. 4 straight weeks getting votes without being in the top 25. They want that top 25 spot. Catching the outside corner, Barriant evens the count, 2 balls, 2 strikes. And again, she is 1 strike away from getting out of this inning.
She's got to be careful, though. Her middle 2 infielders are leaving a wide-open gap directly behind her. Anything up the middle would win the game for State.
That one's called strike 3 as she paints the outside corner, does Barriant, and she gets Burrows looking. So that will do it for the NC State Bats today. As long as they are able to hold Notre Dame under 6 runs, Notre Dame will try to start the rally with Casey Africano, Kimmy Sullivan, and Sarah White when we come back. You're watching NC State Softball on GoPack.com and Wolfpack Sports Television. And NC State now down to their final 3 outs as Courtney Mirabella delivers the first pitch of the inning, knocked foul by Casey Africano for strike 1. Couple of fielding changes for NC State as Compton comes back in at second base. Tharrington back in right field, and Hannah Yeager shifts back to center.
That's what you're talking about. The softball shifting rules, the substitutions, much more convoluted and really much more delicate than that of baseball, where you're in, you're out, or you're out.
Mirabella delivers another strike. 0-2 count now to Africano, who has taken over catcher after Cassidy Whidden took a foul ball to the face earlier in this game. And again, we send our prayers out to her. Hopefully she will be okay and nothing too damaging. 1-2 the count now as Africano takes the ball. Mirabella gets the sign, checks the armband, and gets ready to deliver. Swung on and missed by Africano. Mirabella ready to get this one over with as she picks up a strikeout to start the inning.
11,
Pickenich is going to come in to hit here for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, Chris.
So she will take the place of Kimmy Sullivan.
And I think this is Coach Gumpf really trying to get her team experience, and especially trying to figure out are there any changes that are major that she needs to make for tomorrow's noontime start, also right here on Wolfpack Sports Television.
So Pickenich into bat here with 1 out in the 7th inning, her team trailing by 7. She takes strike 1.
And you look at it, it really has been a full, complete effort from everybody on this NC State team for now 14 innings today.
Here comes it, slap hit, foul ball down the left field side. An 0-2 hole quickly for Pickenich. Mirabella looking for her 9th strikeout. Not going to get it here as it's popped up into the center of the infield. Renata Davis striding over, grabs that one in the mitt, puts away the 2nd out of the inning, and now NC State 1 out away from a sweep of the doubleheader against the number 23 Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Certainly an impressive feat, Drew.
Yeah, it is an impressive feat, and especially to be able to do it at home. The first true home game they've had in Raleigh in forever. State has had 7 games in a row canceled, both conference and non-conference. It's good to see them winning, especially here at home.
Sarah White steps in and cuts at the first pitch and misses. So Mirabella gets strike 1 on her. White walked her last time up. That was the 5th inning, and she got thrown out at 3rd. She pops that one up, and this should do it. Coming in, Ross in left field shallow. She makes the catch, and NC State comes away with the win. An all-around effort from the Lady Wolfpack today, and Drew, they did it all.
They really did. They hit the ball well. They hit the home run ball. They hit the small ball. They ran the bases well. They used their heads. They made the plays they needed to make. That's just it. It wasn't as if this was a highlight reel win on either side of this doubleheader. What State did do was what needed to be done. They went out and executed. And quite simply put, Notre Dame had opportunities to do the same and just were not able to keep up. It was a game of hit and near misses. The State was the one to make contact, and Notre Dame was the one just to come up the short end of the stick sometime.
All right, well, that will do it for our broadcast today. Again, the final score in the first game was 4-2 in favor of the NC State Wolfpack. They come away with a win by the score of 9-2 in the second game. The third game of the series will be tomorrow. That is Sunday, March 8th at noon, and we'll be right back here with you. You've been watching NC State Softball on GoPack.com and Wolfpack Sports Television.